Hey guys, how are you? I am back with another video. I hope you guys liked last week's video. It was on acting in the pandemic. So this week, excuse me, I've gotten lots of requests on how to get an agent or manager and how to find auditions. So that's what we're talking about today. I got my notes again. So first things first, I want to go ahead and say, if you're looking for an agent, I'm hoping you've done all the stuff that the agent's going to be looking for to make you attractive to the agent. So for instance, have you taken classes? Have you gotten headshots? Have you built up your resume a little bit? Things like that. Taken any lessons. So if you are a singer or if you play piano or whatever the case may be, are you trained in those things, or is it just something you're good at and really good at? Okay, so that matters. But if you have done all those things and you're ready to find an agent and you think that you're going to be attracted to them, that you have enough, then this is how we'll start. So first, agents are accepting applications online. So you would go to their website, put your information in. They're probably going to ask you to upload your resume, ask you to upload your photos, probably like a headshot, full body shot, different things. And then they'll contact you if interested. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. Even before the pandemic, that's still the way it was. Then, of course, there's recommendations, which is clearly the #1 way to get an agent and or a manager. So if you know somebody who's in the industry and they've got an agent or a manager or whatever, and you can be like, hey, I've been working really hard. I've got, all this stuff on my resume. I've taken these classes, everything's working out. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to get there. And I want to audition for an agent. So would you mind putting a good word for me into your agent so I can audition for them so I can get some representation? That's the best way. Because if they tell their agent that and their agent knows they're out here working hard and, booking jobs left and right and this and that, they're going to know, well, this person is reliable. I can probably count on them, trust them to bring me somebody who's going to work hard. So then, their word matters. So then it's much easier to get representation that way. Let's see. And I want to say too, if you are looking for representation, it's not the easiest thing. So make sure, because you can only submit to them every so many months or maybe once a year or something like that. So if you submit to this agent and you're not up to par, your resume is not looking good, you've taken no classes or anything like that, it's going to be a lot harder because now you have to wait 6 months or you have to wait a year before you can submit to that agent again. You know what I mean? So make sure you really take the time. And that's a little different too with younger kids. So a lot of times people are like, well, how do I get an agent for my infant? I just had this baby. Everyone tells me she was so cute and she's so calm and personable. Like, I want to get her on like some print and stuff like that. A lot of times when it comes to infants, agents won't even fully represent them. Like, they'll book them jobs. You'll submit them. They'll book them, but they won't fully represent them because they're still so young. You know what I mean? And some do, though. So that's the thing. Some agents, you'll log onto the website and you'll see it says, oh, from this age to this age. So a lot of the babies are too young. And they can only work for a little bit of time. That's why. So it's like babies are like, and they grow so fast, So you're only going to be in the baby category for a short period of time before you're auditioning in the other category. So a lot of times there's not much as far as representation for infants, but that doesn't mean it's not out there. Okay. And then so also for children, like if you are, I don't know, 3 years old, something like that, versus someone who is 17. Now, this 3-year-old probably doesn't have classes, okay? But a 17-year-old, they're going to want you to have classes. 16-year-old, something like that, they're going to want you to have some classes, especially if you've never done any work. Now, this 3-year-old could walk in and do auditions because, see, it's a 3-year-old's job to be cute, okay? That's it. It's their job to be cute. They're going to go and they're going to stand in front of the cameras, and as long as they're not shy and, or whatever like that, as long as they can go out there, deal with other people, and follow instruction and be cute, that's their job. All right, but when you're 17 years old and you want to audition for the lead in a movie or the lead in a TV show, something like that, you're going to have some acting skills. So keep that in mind. Age matters. It's different per every case, I'll say that. But I do get a lot of like, how do I do it for my kids and for me, or this and that? You know, it's like, you would definitely need classes if you were looking for yourself, because you're an adult and they expect you to be, you're going to have to jump in there with the adults that are already in the industry. Like, you see TV, you know what I mean? Can you jump in there and are your chops up to par with theirs? You know, for children, it's a lot different, like I said. So it just depends on who is doing it, experience, and also too, like, you want to be, there is other people in your area. Even if you live in an area that you're like, oh, there's no acting here. There's probably is. There probably something somewhere. Or maybe people are traveling a little bit, but they're still from your area. So you want to be attractive in your area. So there's going to be other kids that are out there. You're thinking, oh, well, I'll just jump out here and try it. Like, there are other people out there that are doing it. And you have to jump in and do it with them. And they've been doing it for 2 years now, so they got it down pat. So if you just jump in and decide, hey, I'm going to do this, you don't have any classes, you don't have any lessons, any experience, nothing, then realize you're going to be jumping in, but you're not going to probably be booking, because they're going to pick these people that know what they're doing, that they know what they're doing, because when you came to the audition, you had no idea what you were doing. You know, your chops weren't up to par with all these other people. So it's only going to help you in the long run anyway. So you might as well just go ahead and do it. I know it's like, I got to do all these classes. I got to pay for this. I got to pay for that. But like I said before, it's a rich man's game. Is not cheap. But some stuff you just got to do. It's like you got to, certain jobs require certain things. So, and that's any job in life. So you have to do certain things in order to really be successful. You get out of it what you put into it. Another thing you can do to kind of build your resume, because I do get a lot of people saying, you know, this is a really small town where I live. There are no auditions. Like, I have to travel really far if I want to do something like that. And unfortunately, sometimes you got to travel. But there are other things that you can do to build your resume, just so you can, like, start getting some experience, start getting used to being out there in front of the camera, things like that. And I would say, like, if you're a child, join, like, school plays, local plays, things like that. Even adults can join local plays. They have local plays in most areas, or like some sort of event like that, so that you can get used to acting in front of an audience, taking direction, learning the words, because you would be surprised. Like, if someone says go stage left, go stage right, do you know what that means? Of course, we know the main ones, like action, cut, things like that. But back to one, like certain things that you just won't understand if you're not familiar with it. So you're going to want to go ahead and do some stuff like that, because when you do get on an audition, or say you do book the job, matter of fact, they don't want to have to explain what everything they're saying is to you. So you should have some of that down already. And of course, those things are things you can add to your resume. If there's a production or anything like that, I know actually some people that actually just go, well, now due to COVID, it's a little different, but you can go to certain places and just supervise, or not supervise, just shadow. And I don't mean like a movie set or nothing like that, but like, because they're usually closed, but like say a play or something like that, just shadow it, you know, watch how things are done, things like that. Universities have a lot of that when they have certain plays and things that they do. That way you can kind of get the idea, even if you're not going to be actually in it, you still have the chance to look and watch, see how they talk, the language they use, because not everyone can understand it. If you've never been there, you know, you're not going to understand what some of the things mean. And just get the feel of it, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I know that's not the funnest thing, but it's kind of like school. It's kind of like school for it, so just go, watch, learn, take notes. And I know it sounds tedious, but you'd be surprised. Like, I didn't even think of that myself. Someone told me that, and I'm like, that's actually a good idea. Like, you know, if you can't do anything else, why not go? Why not watch? Why not shadow? You know what I mean? And then maybe next time you can be a part of the production. But anyway, that's the main gist of how to get an agent. Oh, also for audition. So I would say when auditioning, if you want to do it by yourself, of course they have things like casting networks, Actors Access. Like, those are websites that you pay a yearly or monthly, I can't remember, subscription, and they have castings that pop up. And if you see one that fits your criteria, like, oh, I'm looking for a child 7 to 10, African American, something like that, then you can submit to it, okay? And if they're interested, they'll email you back. That's another thing. You want to make sure if you have those sites, that they are up to date and they stay up to date. You can't have a photo on there from when your child was 3 months old and he's 7 now. Or you can't have it, something like that. Or he was 20 pounds and now he's 75 pounds. You know what I mean? So if you're going to use that route, you have to make sure that that information stays up to date, because that is what they're seeing. If your picture is from 4 years ago, you probably don't look like that anymore. And that's what they're looking at. That's what they're envisioning when they say, hey, I think you'd be a good fit. And when you come in looking 6 inches taller and, they're like, whoa, I thought this was a 6-year-old boy. Well, he's 10 now, Yeah, things change. So make sure those things are up to date if you're going to use them. They're nice, though, because you can submit yourself. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of legwork. You got to make sure you're on top of it. When if and when they write you back, you got to kind of reply right away, because you have to realize you're not the only person that writing back. Usually it's like, okay, well, I'm going to send this to these 3 kids. They look good. They look like they could fit. And if you're not the first one to reply, oh, we've already booked it. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with any auditions. When you get auditions, it might say, hey, the deadline is going to be Friday at 10 and you got it Monday. All right, so maybe you can be finished by Wednesday. And if so, that's great. Send it in. The sooner you send it in, the better. So those are options. But I would prefer, personally, just having an agent or a manager, because then they do all that for you. They look for all these jobs, and then it's your job to audition, practice the lines, and then send in your audition or whatever the case may be. But it's better that way, in my opinion, because then it's just a lot of legwork. It's a lot of legwork trying to find your own auditions, and then you got to worry about the location. And then also when it comes, say you book it, and it comes to negotiating, it's a lot better to have your agent and or manager do the negotiations when it comes to your fee and all this different stuff like that. So, and anything, maybe it's a per diem, are you getting per diem? Like, you know what I mean? If it's not a larger project, so it's a lot better to have an agent and manager. I would say go that route. And then of course they know all the legal stuff, so it's a lot better. If you do want to self-submit, like I said, there are some avenues out there. There are those websites. You need to have your photos together still. You need to have your resume together still, and or reel. It gives you an option to add a reel on the site, add photos, add your resume, all your measurements, and all your details about you and things like that. But just make sure it stays up to date. So important. And the reason I'm stressing that is because so many people don't do that. And I hear it all the time. It's like, oh, they wanted him and then they didn't because his photo was 4 years old. And yeah, that matters. It's so important. That's like right now. Like if you went to an audition, an actual in-person audition, you wouldn't take a headshot from 7 years ago. You wouldn't take a headshot from 4 years ago. Maybe an adult can get away with it more a couple of years because adults don't change as much. But when you're a child, he's not going to be able to take his 4-year-old headshot now that he's 8 years old. It's going to look very different. So definitely stay on top of that. And I wouldn't personally, if you don't have an agent, I wouldn't even worry about auditioning or looking for auditions until you're ready to actually look for an agent, because that means that you have everything already. You have your headshots, you have your classes and your resume built up. You've been doing all those things. So if you just want to jump in the game and be like, I think I want to be an actor. Yep, I'm gonna go make an Actors Access account. You log in, you make an account, you start submitting. No experience, no classes, no this, no that. Number one, no one's probably gonna respond because you have nothing on there that's gonna interest them. So it's the same thing as if you were going for an agent. So at the point that you're ready to look for an agent, when you've done all those steps, I took my classes and lessons, updated my resume and headshots, and now I'm ready, So it's either you're gonna go look for an agent or you're gonna start self-submitting. So that should be even. When you're ready to look for an agent, it's also ready when you're ready to start submitting. But if that's the case, if you're ready to start submitting now, instead of doing that, why not just go for an agent? I mean, until you find an agent, can you self-submit? That'd probably be okay. That'd be fine. But I would not just go the route of, I'm not going to get an agent. I'm just going to self-submit because it's too much. But I have no problem, or I don't think there's anything wrong with self-submitting until you can find an agent. So I'm going to submit to an agency or a couple agencies, and until I hear back, I'll just submit myself for some stuff. We'll see That's fine. I've done that, and that, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I wouldn't recommend just trying to do it all yourself. It's too much, and you're not gonna very often get a lot of the bigger roles. So if you've really been working and you're really ready, like, I think I want to do something big now. Like, I've done a lot of little things, you know, maybe not too little, but like I've been working my way up. I was just doing like local plays, and then I've done a couple commercials, and now I've been on TV, and I've been in a movie, like a line here, a line there, a couple lines, something like that. Now I'm ready, like, I want to look for like a starring, supporting, like I really want to, then yeah, I would definitely go for an agent as well, because a lot of times, I'm not saying always, but a lot of times the agents get that information first, and if they don't get it first or only, it's at least first. So you know what I mean, you won't even see them on some of the casting sites. So I would definitely go the route of looking for an agent. But all right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative. I hope you got a lot from it. Anything else you want to know, please comment. I'm actually, for my next video, I'm actually going to look through my comments, because this video someone asked me to do, and I was happy to do it. So I'm going to look and see what you guys want to know, my comments, my messages, and stuff like that. So I don't know what the next video is going to be about. I'm just going to look and see what I get the most requests for. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Also, guys, as you know, my son, Josiah, plays Dion in the Netflix series Raising Dion, and that will be out very soon. I hope you guys watch it and support us. It comes out on Netflix February 1st, 2022. So I hope you guys love it. He's so excited to have everybody see it finally. I know it's been a long week, but like I said before, the pandemic. So we were scheduled to do the season 2, and we were scheduled to film it, but then the pandemic hit, so we had to push it back. So I know it took a while, but it's finally here. He's so excited. But just let me know if you guys have any questions. Please like, comment, subscribe to my videos, tell your friends. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I put up a new video. And all right, guys, have a good day. Be great. I'll see you later.